Hey guys, it's Jan from Not a Real Farm. So I thought we're sort of at the time in the season where it's probably time to start reflecting on what was successful in the greenhouse and really what wasn't. Let's get into it. So guys, surprisingly, the number one failure for me was corn. We got so hot in this greenhouse that the poor corn didn't even have a chance. These were some of the highest temperatures I've ever experienced in the greenhouse, so unfortunately the corn just didn't do well. It got tall. This is about 6 feet tall here. It tasseled. It did what it was supposed to do. But then we take it a little bit closer. It just automatically went to seed. I didn't even have an opportunity to pick the corn. It just busted out of the stalk and it went to seed. So I'm going to say probably, unless I have to necessarily grow it under cover, that's going to be a no for me for next year, because I can take this 4 feet and do something else with it. So the corn for me is getting a thumbs down in the greenhouse. Next on the list is my pole beans. They started out once again beautifully, but what happened is it got too hot in here, and as you can see, it just all started yellowing. It's not really producing anymore. You know, you've got a few odd beans here and there. It got to be about 8 feet tall, but it's not really producing the way that it needs to. So basically, this is going to get a thumbs down for me in terms of production and space, because I could probably take the space that I put the beans in here and do something else with it. So for me, I'm going to say a no. Next year, I'm just going to put the pole beans outside because of the temperature. Pole beans, wah wah. So guys, another kind of success failure, it's kind of a so-so for me, is the cucumbers. The cucumbers right now look, great, but they've got a little spot on them. But in terms of being prolific and, creating cucumbers, they started in the beginning, we were getting a lot, and then all of a sudden it just stopped. And I'm going to say it's probably not enjoying the temperature in here in the greenhouse. So I'm going to take these cucumbers next year and put them outside in the raised garden bin. I'm probably going to vertically grow it, but I could probably take this space and do something else with it as opposed to sort of reserving it for cucumbers, even though it kind of look cool. Same with the pickling cucumbers, it was the same thing. Once the temperature started going up and up and up, the pickling cucumbers and the regular cucumbers, the production of it just went down. So that's going to be a thumbs down for me for next year. I'm going to put all of the cooler weather vegetables that I see that didn't necessarily do that well outside in the bins. Okay, so some of the successes I've had were surprisingly the broccoli. Broccoli obviously is a cold weather plant, but these actually held up to the heat quite well. The broccolini is starting to sort of spread out like it should and provide individual spears. So this was actually a really great opportunity for me to see, how something will bolt and will not. So that's going to get a thumbs up for me. I'm probably going to grow broccoli again in the greenhouse because compared to, what it looks like on the outside, very little bug damage in here. And, and it's almost like the hotter it gets, the sweeter the broccoli spears get. So that is going to be a thumbs up for me. And then this way, if I grow it inside, I don't have to worry about row covers and flea beetles and all that stuff. So that's a thumbs up for me. So the broccoli gets a thumbs up. So the next success for me, I believe, is going to be the sweet potatoes. And I say that because they are extremely prolific in terms of growing. They really didn't require a lot of looking after. As you can tell, everything is just sort of branching right across the floor. They're happy, low maintenance, and they're also starting to give me a signal that they may want me to start checking to see if they're, actually ready to harvest. These have been in the ground since, I'm going to say April in here. So I'm going to say there's probably some success under the dirt waiting for me, but the sweet potatoes are definitely something that if we get a decent harvest off of these, that I will be doing that again. And guys, I didn't actually buy my sweet potato slips. I created the sweet potato slips and then basically took them off the potato and planted them in. And I did an experiment. I did one in water and I did one in soil. The one in soil outproduced in terms of slips. And the one in the water did okay, but producing your slips from the soil actually works way better. So the sweet potatoes get a thumbs up for me. I'll definitely be doing that again. So the sweet potatoes, they get a thumbs up. Obviously, some of the more obvious ones are going to be tomatoes. Tomatoes did spectacular in here. I've done 3 succession plantings, so these ones are the next ones to sort of start turning red, and then I've got ones that are way past the Brussels sprouts on the end. It's kind of like a tomato jungle all the way down there. So the tomatoes are sort of the obvious ones. I would definitely plant those again. Those were very successful. And then, of course, guys, my other success is the peppers. The peppers are doing amazing on either side of the greenhouse, regardless of what other, microclimates there is, because greenhouses do create little microclimates. I do have colder spots on the greenhouse, which I'll make sure to take note of because I'll be planting, cooler weather vegetables over in those spots. But the peppers did amazing. I'm actually getting another crop of peppers in here, which I wasn't sure I was going to get because we're actually in August. But I am, if I can just swoop you around here, I am getting purple peppers as of this morning. So the purple peppers are starting to grow. I'm pretty excited about that. I'm sure they'll probably just be another sweet pepper, but kind of cool because by the end of the season, probably, I'm going to say by September, I will have, bell peppers to harvest. So the peppers definitely get a thumbs up. So guys, the peppers get a thumbs up. And who can forget the watermelon? The watermelon is still producing. He's a tiny guy right now, but I'm still getting a lot of watermelons in this greenhouse. So that is definitely going to be something that I'm going to grow more of next year. This was more of an experiment. And of course, the other success in here, which I was really pleased with, was the cantaloupe. And the cantaloupe we picked, of course, and we chopped him up, but now he's producing another one. So the cantaloupe, love it in here. It's really great to be able to produce my own fruit. And that was one of the concerns that I had, was either it wasn't going to be hot enough or maybe it was too hot, but it seems to be just right to produce cantaloupe. So really happy about it, because we can chop it up, we can freeze it, we can smoothie it, whatever. And I'm thinking with a rumored projected 15% price in food by October 1st, I'm thinking a way to grow your own food in general, but fruit too, is the way to go. So cantaloupe, thumbs up. The other thing that's been really prolific in here is the baby tomatoes, which are, I think they're actually growing up underneath my shade cloth. These are about 5 feet tall now, and over the weekend I picked about 5 liters of baby tomatoes off of these, and so we've been canning them and putting them in sauce and pickling them and all kinds of different things. But it's one of those things too that if you decide you didn't want to have the big tomato plants, or maybe you don't have the room, planting 2 or 3 of these little baby tomato plants will give you enough, tomatoes to last all summer. So that is going to get a thumbs up for me. I will be doing this again in here for the room and the space, and just the ease of growing it. Really, really did not need a whole bunch of attention. It didn't require me to even fertilize it. They grew amazing. So that is a thumbs up for me. And last but not least is my 14-foot sunflower. So really great. As you can see, the discs are starting to fall. So we're going to be drying those out, obviously, and saving the seeds. But this sunflower took up so much room because it was a seed that, fell in. And then basically I didn't have the heart to take out the plant. So I could probably get back, I'm going to say, about 5 feet of space with this sunflower out of here. So as much as I love my sunflowers, that's going to be a no for next year. Okay, so the temperature is about 17 degrees in here, which is a perfect temperature to go around and maintain and weed and do whatever else I need to do, like water. So I'll be doing this greenhouse, the back greenhouse, and all the exterior beds. But just wanted to share with you some of my successes and failures in growing inside, and kind of what I want to grow next year. Maybe more tomatoes, maybe not. And some of the things I probably won't be putting in here so much. But guys, it's time to get going and get a lot of this stuff done. So thanks very much for joining me. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Give me a thumbs up to subscribe, and I hope you guys have a great rest of the weekend. Thanks very much. See you soon.